All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Clinton Bowman. Welcome to the Xbox Experience podcast, episode number. Wait, why hasn't this thing updated?
Wait, what are you doing?
No,
With an update.
it didn't update.
What did update? Mixer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does that.
Can you fix it to episode 29, Ryzen Mania? Because if you can do that for me, that'd be great.
Yeah, because I was saying the other day when I was streaming, I kept changing it from Overwatch to Bloodborne, and they kept going back, and I was like, no, that's not what I'm playing.
Yeah.
Weird.
And also the splash screen didn't update either, which was weird. Like
I thought the splash screen said
no, not the
Ryzen
splash
before.
screen, not the splash screen, but like our thing where it says our names and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't update. Let me actually take care of that right now. You see, the beauty about OBS, right? It's a lot better than XSplit in a lot of ways. Where they'd be like, all right, cool. You gotta do is save it.
Isn't it 29?
Now it says 29. I just saved it.
But motherfucker, you just told me to go in there.
No. I'm talking about the layout overlay. Technical difficulties and Photoshop being Photoshop, ladies and gentlemen. That's the thing. Anyways.
Photoshop.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode number 29 of the Xbox Experience podcast. I'm Clinton Bowman. To the absolute left of me is Keith Mitchell, and to the right to me is Aaron Sanders. What's going on, boys?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
So today is a momentous day in gaming. Sonic Mania has released, as well as the reviews for the AMD Vega architecture.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. If you actually had access to the Sonic Mania on the Nintendo Switch, then you already had the game a couple days early.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
That came out early on the Switch?
Yeah, some people were playing it.
No, well, apparently on the eShop it was still only available on the to the 11th digitally. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no.
No, that's what it said. Yeah.
Nintendo Switch has a thing where it's supposed to come out, but if you had the code, you could have redeemed. That's how people were streaming it early.
So people had the code. They got the code early. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they got their collector's edition early.
Oh, I see.
Right. So that's something that's there. Yay, Nintendo doing Nintendo things, right? That being said, let's get right into the topics because we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. The whole Bevy corporation. So Metal Gear Rising, remember that game? With the senator, the meme himself.
No, that was Revengeance.
Yeah, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is on Xbox backwards compatibility.
I cares about that game.
The meme.
Never played that one.
Yeah, so it's on Xbox backwards compatibility right now, along with Scream Ride. So we're getting more games for backwards compatibility, but I think it's starting to slow down a little bit right now because obviously it is licensing issues. It's not issues, but licensing deals to come with the game. So come with these games. So what game do you think be coming next? Honestly, Keith, if you had to make a guess.
I couldn't tell you. All the games that I kind of
that you want, excuse me. Yeah.
No, that's what I said. All the games that I wanted are already out.
Aaron?
I got nothing for you. It could be anything.
Honestly,
was it only one title they added this time?
No, two. Scream Ride and
Screen Ride. Okay.
Revengeance. But I still am holding out hope that Darkstalkers Revolution and Street Fighter Third Strike come over. And that's just me. So
possible.
That's just what I'm hoping for.
I don't see that happening. It'd be nice, but I don't know.
I mean, we got Ultra 4. So, I mean, you can hope. Personally, if Sega could still sell it, I want an Outrun 2.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because of the license. Yeah, I would love to see that, but that's why they pulled it off of Steam and off of Xbox. They were like, nope.
Microsoft would have to probably see if they can work out something. Where it's like, yeah, we'll let you use the ports license for a little bit to go back on backwards compatibility because Outrun 2 was a damn good game.
No, I'm going to come over and smack you. Did you say Porsche?
Wasn't it the Porsche license?
Porsche, and it's Ferrari.
Excuse me. Bugging, I'm tired. I forgot. Some people say Porsche, some people say Porsche, okay?
It's Porsche.
And
I don't think Microsoft has the entirety of the Ferrari license. I think they changed their tune and are letting people use it, but no single company can have ownership of it anymore.
So if Sega gets the chance to be able to use the Ferrari license again, do you think that Outrun 2 can be re-released?
Hell, if they could use it again, they would definitely do it. It's one of their biggest games of all time.
Oh yeah,
Outrun is one of the games that is synonymous with Sega. You know, Outrun, Sonic, Golden Axe.
Mhm.
You know,
Phantasy Star.
That's a classic, yeah.
You know, Thunderblade,
Fantasy
Hang
Star.
On, Super Hang On, Fantasy Star, Space Harrier. Hell yeah, they would definitely use that in a heartbeat. Daytona USA.
Yeah.
We'll never do that again.
Daytona USA.
We
Daytona.
got Daytona 3 coming out, so I can't say that because we actually have another Daytona coming out.
I'm sorry. Every time you say Daytona, I can't help but think about CEO anymore. God damn it. Like, Daytona, let's get away.
No, see, you're doing it wrong. It's Daytona and it's Blue Skies. Blue Skies.
I know. Or I could do, we're supersonic. I'm sorry. I played Sonic R recently. I'm
That's
sorry.
Sonic R. Stop it.
I played Sonic R earlier. Speaking of Sonic, we're going to be talking about Sonic Mania. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Sonic Mania later today. I'm going to give a 5-minute or less review along with my...
You did on the Xbox. Should have gotten the PlayStation.
You know, shut up, Keith. Anyway,
it's not a bad problem. It's not a bad game. It's just, you know, sorry,
Keith.
that 4K. I need it.
Keith, stop being a snob. Anyways.
I'm not being a snob. I'm taking advantage of my hardware.
Yeah, and not everybody has your hardware, so shh. Anyways, we're gonna be talking about Sonic Mania. So obviously, the score that I'll be giving it will be the score I'll be giving it on the Outerhaven once the written review goes up.
You said physical.
I'll say physical, yeah. So we're definitely gonna do that. We're also gonna be talking about the AMD line of hardware as well as our Xbox games considered exclusive. So let's jump right into it. With the Vega architecture, the reviews have been coming out. A lot of people like the 56, but the 64 not so much. A lot of the things about the 56 that people are saying that it is slightly more powerful than the 1070, which is actually something that people kind of wanted out of that one. But the 64 on the offhand doesn't get much different results than the 1080, and the 1080 is relatively cheaper than the 64 from what I was reading. Keith, I know that we were watching a Vega benchmark a while ago, and me and you both were not impressed with the performance and the news that we were hearing about the Vega, how it doesn't even surpass that you just might as well get a 1070.
Are you waiting for me to jump in there, or do you have more to say?
Go ahead.
I mean, first and foremost, it's a great occasion for AMD because they finally came out. They finally released Vega. It took them, God knows how long. The RX 58 and the 480 and the RX 58 480 and 580 were doing pretty good, trading blows with the 1070 and the 1060. And the Vega 56 and the 64 finally come out, and while they're decent cards, I'm not impressed with the performance because we were expecting these cards to basically eat up NVIDIA, not do well alongside with NVIDIA or trade blows with NVIDIA to completely surpass them. And that's not what either of these cards have done. You know, looking at the 64, it trades blows with 1080. Sometimes it beats it. Sometimes 1080 kills it. And then you look at the 1080 Ti, which is still $100 outside of its price range, and it doesn't really touch that card whatsoever. Back on the the 56, once again, it trades blows to 1070. It is a great card, but I mean, right now the 1070 you can't find them under $400 because of the whole crypto mining bullshit. So there's a problem with that. At the same time, the 5600, I keep saying 5600, the Vega 56 are freaking power hungry. You need to use 2 4-pin adapters to power those things.
Well, most bigger cars do that as well.
No,
recently.
no,
like, I've noticed. Some you just straight use a 6. Like some straight use a 6. And
the 1060 uses a 4-pin. The 1070, I believe, uses a 4-pin. The 1080 Ti uses a 4 and a 3.
Okay.
The 1080, I believe, just uses a 4 and a 3. It is less power consuming than either of these cards. They even had a graph showing how much power these cards were pulling. It's crazy.
And that's not good.
No, it's not. Which means you have a low ceiling for overclocking, because if it's using so much power, you're going to need a lot more power to hit the ceiling to overclock. It also means there's more heat in there. Unless those cards have good heat dissipation, you're going to have issue with that as well. But again, it's great that they finally came out. They're just not the cards everybody expected. And going back to the 64, there was some rumbling going on in the community. I'm not 100% sure what's happening, but I believe the 64 is how much right now? $699.
I believe so. Yes.
They were saying that may not actually be the price that it's supposed to go up.
I wouldn't be surprised. And yo, shout out
to some kind of promotion.
Indeed, and I definitely hear that. And we got some breaking news out of on the Mixer side of things. IGN, in terms of gaming, so we got to put that. I gotta be on my P's and Q's in the mornings. And starting now, the first installment of the WWE 2K18 roster is going to be on IGN as for the last 3 years. Ah, come on! I hate that. I really do. Like
this is you know, I know we're not talking about this, but this is how Gaming Gears gets. I don't want to say that.
Gets bodied.
Has issues because you're giving exclusive to one site, a major site, over and over and over, and it's like, how about give it to people that actually know how to play these freaking games? That might be one.
Yeah, so that's a little irritating to hear, but I gotta be on my P's and Q's. I gotta be up in the morning just to make sure I actually am there to post this thing. That's what I did the last 2 years, so whatever.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'm glad to see Vega finally came out. Interested to see what they can do because obviously, because they're trading blows, they're still using young drivers. I would like to see what happens when they use more mature drivers
and are optimized, right?
Yeah. And also like to see how things shape out when people start using Vulkan more within their games versus just using OpenGL or DirectX. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out later on.
So, Aaron, you know, you didn't get a chance to really see too much about the Vega because you weren't really paying all that type of attention.
No, I really wasn't.
And it's honest to say, don't.
I got my 1070 last year, and I was like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up about that.
And that's pretty much how it should be. Yeah, that's how it should be. I mean, if you have a 1070 right now, unless you want to go Team AMD, there is no reason to look back.
I think the only reason to really look back is the only reason to go Team AMD is for the processors right now at this point, and even then, it really depends on what you're saying, and we're going to talk about that.
It depends.
And it depends, and we're going to talk about that right after Aaron gives his thoughts about the Vega and the news that came out and the reviews and the thoughts. If you got a chance to take a look at it before the podcast started.
Yeah, I'm kind of cruising through it right now too, and it seems like it was very underwhelming. It looks like that it was specifically the liquid cooled Vega 64 is the one that's $699, and the regular one I guess is $499,
right?
Or at least that's what it's supposed to be. That doesn't quite make it a whole lot better though, because it looks like it's like Keith said, just kind of trading blows with the 1070, 1080.
And that's the thing, you know, not to cut you off. If it's $699, it's like, all right, you're in TI territory. What?
Right. Yeah, you should be up there with the TI is.
Right. And keep in mind, a lot of people are looking at this in terms of the gaming performance, where apparently, from what I understand, Vega was not really advertised for all of that for the most part, and it kind of like bothers me in the sense that they're not gaming optimized either, because that's what a lot of graphics cards are now.
Yeah, really.
I think you might confuse that with the first one, the Frontier. That one was not gaming, was not for gaming whatsoever. It was more for rendering workstations.
Yeah. But there's a lot going on there. So let's move on and talk a little bit about the Ryzen, you know, the first part of our title. Now, I have a Xeon processor. I have a Xeon build, and it does me really good. Xeon. I have this processor. Keith recommended this processor for me. And
2 years ago.
Yes, 2 years ago, and I got it about a year ago. And I love it. I love my Xeon. I love everything about it. I mean, I can play my games better now. Like, I can play in 4K, even though it's DSR. But, you know, I can play that. I can stream more consistently. The stream is smooth. I can up my bit rate on my stream, and it won't lag. It won't lag because the processing doesn't really have anything to deal with too much. So
real quick before you do that, don't put down DSR even if you are or not. Super sampling is a fantastic way as well as down sampling. You may not have a 4K TV, but you sure as hell can get the clarity and the benefits using DSR. Hell yes.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people, and not just saying that you may or may not have been doing that, but there's been a lot of people in the gaming community that's been downplaying it, and they don't understand the importance of that.
Yeah, I mean, 4K looks good. I played Tekken in 4K. That was beautiful. Even though it was 30 frames a second, it was beautiful. You know, playing like Overwatch in 4K, playing other games in 4K, beautiful. They look great, look fantastic. But I was thinking about saying, oh, you know what? Me and Keith were talking because me and Keith was talking, and he got himself a Ryzen build for both of his computers now. And he's like, my God, Ryzen is so good for multitasking, which begs the question: who does Ryzen benefit, and should you stick with Team Blue if it doesn't benefit you?
That is a loaded question.
Yeah.
How much time do we have to elaborate on that?
It's 9:34.
So we got all night.
So let's talk about Ryzen 5 and talk about Ryzen 7. Now,
do you have one of each, by the way?
I do.
Okay.
So the machine behind me has a Ryzen 5 1600, and my machine has a Ryzen 7 1700. So the one that I'm using right now replaced my X99 board because I had nothing but issues with it, and the 5820K. But that processor is like 4 years old now, I think.
Yes.
And I was looking at picking up another processor. Now, Ryzen is actually in a good position for multitasking because when you compare it to certain Intel processors, Ryzen still falls behind because Ryzen is the jack of all trades versus Intel. It's like, I'm good for this, I'm good for this. So like if you picked up a 7700K, you're picking it up for gaming, it's going to do fantastic for gaming. If you're picking it up for encoding and doing other kinds of stuff, it's going to struggle at certain things. Where the Ryzen is like, you know what, I can do this while you stream, while you do this, and you're fine. Getting back to the Intel one, it just depends on which processor you're on, how long you had it. Like if you had like a 1151 or 1150, and you're looking going to a Ryzen, and you don't want to spend an arm and a leg because you don't like new Skylake X stuff, hell yeah, then do Ryzen. I mean, the only issue that I have with it so far is the ceiling for overclocking is a bit lower than I like it to be, but again, it's still not very mature, so that's to be expected. At the same time, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. But overclocking, not a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it because they don't feel that they are comfortable doing it, and the power consumption for overclocking. So outside of our conversation about overclocking, do you think it's still pretty good for those, for example, like those people that are streaming and that swear on getting like an i7 processor?
Yes, definitely. If you're going to play games and stream on the same machine, then it's definitely worth it. That's the whole reason why you would get a Ryzen. That is what is being advertised for.
So you're getting a Ryzen, so you would get a Ryzen over an i7 any day?
Yes.
Have you put that to the test? Have you done streaming off a machine you're playing on?
Mm-hmm. I watched the CPU and it was like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, okay. I was actually streaming Overwatch at 2560 by 1080 and streaming from the machine at 10,000 bitrate going to Mixer, and it was like, I looked at my CPU and it was like, all right, we're doing good.
Percentage, if you remember?
It was like 45-50%.
45%?
It was kind of funny though, because Norton, I don't know why I have Norton on my machine, was like, hey, I see high CPU usage, and I went back and looked at it, and I was like, that was just one core, dude. What are you doing? Right now, I'm playing Bloodborne. I'm playing it through a broadcaster, just recording some footage, and I'm sitting here at.
Oh, you doing remote play? You doing remote play?
No, I'm connected directly to my PC, so I'm using the Pro, and it's sitting at 17% on top of everything else I have going on my machine right now.
It's not bad.
It hasn't hit 20%. It's just going back and forth, back and forth.
That's actually not bad at all.
No, it's not. I'm actually impressed because when the Ryzen first came out, when they first started talking about it, I was like, I wasn't really sure about it. But then I started looking at the benefits. Now, if I was just using this machine strictly for gaming, no, I wouldn't have done it.
Right.
I wouldn't have done it, especially looking at which is the champion right now for Intel, but 7700K is in a good position. It's not very expensive. It does gaming fantastic. But when you start throwing stuff at it, it has issues with the multi-threading. It's a great processor, but if you picked up a Ryzen 1700, you're getting just about the same performance for less money. And while you said not many people use overclocking, even if you did hit the multiplier, you're not hitting much power consumption because you're not raising your power. You're not hitting up the V-core when you're overclocking Ryzen. So you're not really using much power.
Okay, so obviously we're on Mixer and Twitch, audiences, and a lot of people I know are streamers that like live and die by Intel.
No, Ryzen. This is what they advertise it for. This is who this is for.
Okay.
This is for the streamers. This is for people that are using the machine for doing more than 2 things at a time.
So, pretty much you heard it here first from a person that actually uses a Ryzen 7 1700, not a 1700X. You can get a 1700X and it'll be fine.
There's no reason.
There's no reason to get it. Isn't the 1700X an 8-core?
They're all 8 cores.
Nah, really?
Yeah, the Ryzen 7 are 8 cores.
Okay, so the Ryzen 7 are all 8 cores. There's no real need to get the 1800X or the 1700X. You could just get a 1700. And
the only reason I would say get 1800X if you don't want to overclock and you don't mind spending the extra premium for it, then go ahead.
Right. So,
but if you don't have an issue by hitting the multiplier a couple tabs, then there's no reason.
So Ryan, Aaron, excuse me.
You call him Ryan. Who's Ryan?
Who's that? Yeah, who's
Ryan?
That?
Ryan, who's that?
I
was thinking Ryzen when I went to say Aaron. That's why. So Aaron, you're gonna build. I know that you're talking about you were talking about upgrading your computer. Would you consider doing Ryzen?
I don't know if I'd really do it just yet. I'd say this because I did kind of a midlife upgrade last year, and okay. I put in i7 in my rig along with the 1070. So I've been sticking with that. I haven't done any streaming directly off of this machine while playing something, so I don't have a use case for it there. But what I'm trying to do on my rig more is like video production and Photoshop, stuff like that. So right. I thought it would be more useful for that. Keith, have you put Ryzen to the test on video editing? Like video production? Yeah.
I didn't see much of a big difference between that and what I used before with my 5820K. But remember, my 5820K is 4 years old. It wasn't one of the newer i7s.
Yeah.
And that was one of the big reasons why I upgraded.
Okay.
The machine behind me was a FX 8320, and
that
was just utter trash when trying to play a game and stream at the same time.
Remember Extra Life?
I was like, no, that was the first machine. That machine actually had the 1700 in it. I got that when I went to E3.
Yeah.
So I got a board and the processor for like $240 at Fry's in California. Came back home, sold the processor, got my money back plus $20 more. Went to Micro Center, brought the 1700, and then that was it. And then I upgraded this machine, and I was like, well, let me buy a 1600 or a 1500, put it in that machine, and take the 1700 out. And the only reason I went with the Ryzen 5 1600 is because it was a 6-core.
Right.
And I was like, well, they're not going to see the difference. It'll be my machine. If I need to encode something and this machine is busy, then so be it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good upgrade path.
Because for me, honestly, I have my Xeon and I love my Xeon, but when the XSplit is running, it's like it eats processing power. There's sometimes there's times when my last stream, and I streamed Pokemon Trading Card Game online. That's not a resource heavy game, no. And it was going between 70 and 90% CPU power. And
you do an XSplit or OBS on that? Yeah.
Because XSplit's a little easier. XSplit's a little easier for me because
you gotta remember those processors. Again, they're still older processors. They're great, but they weren't meant for doing all that.
Yeah.
And even then, and mine is like a late end. What was it? Haswell. So people still use Haswells because obviously they were easier to get at the time when the thing is getting cheaper. Granted, my only big thing is for me, it's now I have to upgrade my memory, I have to upgrade my motherboard, I have to upgrade my processor. So that's like $500 by itself just to upgrade. But for the money, Keith, it seems like it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I hate using the 7700K, but against the 1700K, but it's a great comparison. The 7700, you got a decent processor for a while, but if you're looking at future proofing, and if you want to upgrade, the 1700 gives you like what 4 more cores, which is 8 additional threads. You gotta remember that processor is a 4-core 8-thread processor,
right?
Versus this, which is an 8-core 16 threads
at 3.6 to start. So that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
No.
Well, actually, no. The 1700 is 3 gigahertz.
I thought it was 3.6.
3.
It says 3.
But you can overclock it to 4.
Yeah. Right now, I'm sitting at 3.8 right now. Just because I've ran into some issues. It gets one of the things I don't like about Ryzen is they get warm very fast.
Not warm. You didn't say hot. You said warm. That's not warm.
Are you liquid cooling?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Keith don't believe in liquid cooling.
No, I've had it. I just wasn't a fan of the all-in-ones. If I want to do it, I'm just gonna go all the way. I'm not ready to do that just yet.
Okay.
Yo, did you get the one with the Wraith cooler? I mean, not the Wraith cooler. The cooler.
No, I switched. No, I switched out. I'm using my
Elite,
Was it
Elite
Evo 212?
Evo 212.
They have a bracket for it that you can use it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking about just using the Spire cooler because I mean, obviously the Wraith cooler was actually really good.
No, if you're going to overclock, do not use that. It is not good for overclocking. It is not recommended to do that at all.
Fair enough. So I might as well just jump on with the Elite 212. Man, that gave me the Hyper Evo.
You get the 212, right? And you can go pick up a $2 bracket. Well, if you go to a Micro Center, they're selling it for $2. But if you don't want to spend the $2, you can go to a Cooler Master and they'll just give it to you. It's supposed to be free, but Micro Center is selling it.
I'll be honest with you, man. Putting in that 212 on my sister's computer was a hassle and a half, bro. Like, but damn, that shit is
that
awesome.
Cooling fan is just a hassle. Period. Doesn't matter where you put it. It's just the design of it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. So there's all of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for an Xbox Xperience review. Woo.
This is the first ever, right?
Yes, the first ever.
I feel like I should have popcorn.
You know what they say at work, Aaron? When you do something for the first time?
Yes, I do.
What do they say?
Well, I thought we weren't supposed to swear on the podcast.
Okay, we won't say it.
No, well, give us
don't fuck it up.
Don't mess it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Sonic fans everywhere, we're going to be talking a little bit about Sonic Mania. So all three of us have the game. All three of us have the game. Aaron has it on the Switch. I have it on the Switch and the PS4. Keith has it on PlayStation 4 Pro. So
Rip the PC version, it's not going to sell now.
And the PC version is coming out on the 29th, which I'm also getting. So I am literally quadruple dipping.
It's dead on arrival.
I am quadruple dipping. I'm getting on everything because I am a huge Sonic fan. That's just me.
I'm gonna know why Keith's saying that, but after your review. So
what, quadruple dipping?
No, why Keith's saying it's the PC version's dead on arrival, but I can get to that after your review.
You know what I'm saying? So we have the game. There's a lot of people that have the game. Reviews are coming out. Excellent reviews. This game is, I believe, on OpenCritic. It is rated mighty. It is a fantastic game. It is great. So Sonic Mania is pretty much the brainchild of Taxman and Stealth. Christian Whitehead, by the way, I only know Taxman's real name. Sorry, Stealth. As well as Pagoda West Games and T. Lopes, Music Mastermind.
I was about to say, you didn't say the names, you're going to get smacked.
Yeah.
He did all of the music.
All the music. So Sonic the Hedgehog is a single and multiplayer game. So the multiplayer is local multiplayer. Obviously, for those of you that remember Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Sega Genesis, they introduced a multiplayer game where you got to race around 4 stages against each other. So there's that multiplayer aspect there. There's also the multiplayer in the single player experience where if you pick Sonic and Tails or get all the secrets and go Knuckles and Knuckles, you can play as either Tails or Knuckles. Like, it's pretty fantastic. But obviously, you either take Tails, Sonic, or Knuckles and go through 12 stages, all with 2 acts. So this goes back to the Sonic 3 and Sonic 2 days, where everything was 2 acts as opposed to 3, which was introduced in Sonic CD, as well as introduced in the Sonic Advance games, with triple acts as opposed to 2 solid acts. Now the gameplay is very simple. It's awesome. It's actually fantastic in a lot of ways, where everything is as familiar. Everything comes out of Sonic 2. So you get your spin dash. You got, obviously the speed traps are there. That's what Sonic is known for. This is a 2D Sonic game. I don't really have to sit down there and describe this to you.
What if I never played a Sonic game before?
But if you never played a Sonic game, think of a Super Mario game, a 2D Super Mario game, but everything's reliant on speed. So you're moving at supersonic speeds, no pun intended. And you have to be careful about a lot of the speed traps because the levels are designed that way to slow you down or to kill you if you go too fast and you're not paying attention. So there's a level of strategy in it. Obviously it's a 2D platformer. 2D platformers are coming back in a very strong way, as well as 3D platformers. As well, obviously Sonic Forces coming out later this year. But the beauty about Sonic Mania is the stages. The stages look wonderful. So for those of you that are big fans of Sonic, you'll notice 4 or 5 out of the 12 stages are old stages from old Sonic games.
I would say levels, not stages.
Zones, excuse me.
Zones.
Let me say it properly.
Yeah.
Zones. So 4 or 5 of the 12 zones are remixes of old zones. I'm going to go slightly heavily into spoiler territory, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh dear God.
For example, the Oil Ocean Zone from Sonic 2 makes a comeback. That's one of my favorite zones. Unfortunately, it's not Hilltop, but it is Oil Ocean. Green Hill Zone is a remix of almost all of the first levels. Neo Green Hill, Angel Island, Green Emerald Zone. I believe it was called. I don't remember. Sonic 2 is my favorite
Green
game.
Emerald Zone, I think.
Emerald Hill, excuse me. Emerald Hill Zone.
No,
and
Just
all the other ones.
that. You're not listening to me.
Yeah, sorry. I know, Keith. I heard you. I was like, yeah, it's Emerald Hills. I was just saying. It's a remix to that. Then you go to Chemical Plant, which is basically a remix mode of Chemical Plant with some elements.
I love the Chemical Plant.
With some elements of Wacky Workbench in Act 2. So for those of you that don't know Sonic CD, Wacky Workbench had a lot of high bouncing. And you get this in a Chemical Plant. Then you go to Studiopolis, which is basically Casino Night Zone, Carnival Night Zone.
With nods to Daytona USA in there.
With a bit of nods to Daytona. You're darn right. There was some Daytona nods in there as well. But the game does a good job remixing a lot of these tracks. T. Lopez is a mastermind when it comes to music, and the music and the sound is crisp. The visuals are actually really fantastic. If you take a look into the background, some of the backgrounds are beautiful. I love the Studiopolis backgrounds. As a media major, dude, there's a bare knuckle reference in the game too. They got reference to all the classic Sega games in there. And it's insane. It's insane. It's a nod. Sonic Mania is considered a love letter. An absolute love letter to everything Sega Genesis. And this is kind of a good thing for those of you that are big fans of the Sega Genesis era games and such. One of my biggest things is aesthetically Stardust Speedway. I have a very big attachment to Stardust Speedway and a big attachment to Marble Hill. And the fact that they remixed the stage and put those two together kind of bothered me in a little bit. But that's cosmetic, and that's something that doesn't really take away from the game at all. But the bosses. Let's talk about the bosses. Let's talk about the bosses. No, I have not.
Okay.
But I've seen videos. But I beat most of it. You
spoiled yourself. You shouldn't have did that.
Nah, it's all good. I mean, to be fair, it was inevitable. So I wouldn't mind. I mean, I don't mind spoilers. Most people know this. A lot of the bosses. So obviously, let's take a look at the Green Hill boss. It's a Sonic Advance 2 boss. It's pretty much Sonic Advance 2. To a degree. Chemical Plant Zone is one of my favorite bosses. You get to play Puyo Puyo.
No, it's not Puyo Puyo.
Yeah, it is Puyo Puyo.
And still a nod to Mean Bean Machine.
Which was the American port of Puyo Puyo. So
that was
Puyo Puyo. I'm not wrong.
But it's called Bean Machine. You even unlock it. Did you know that?
You can unlock Puyo Puyo in this?
Yes.
Nice.
It's called Bean Machine, damn it.
Keith, stop it. It's Puyo Puyo. It's been Puyo Puyo for God knows how long.
It's the correct name of that game with Sonic is Mean Bean Machine.
Okay, so let's talk about Mario USA, which was the real name was Doki Doki Panic. You want to go there?
I never liked that game anyway.
Let's go there. Anyways. That's semantics, and that's what we don't want to argue semantics.
Yeah,
what I love about it is that there's nods. The bosses, most of the biggest nods in Sonic the Hedgehog, in the Sonic Mania, are Sonic CD and Sonic Advance 2. And those are honestly, in my personal opinion, the two of the best Sonic 2D platformers out there. So that's the thing that I like. Now, for my score, I originally was gonna give it a 4 out of 5. But then I thought about it and I was like, this game is better in a lot of ways. You know, I love the nods to Wing Fortress. I love the Green Hill boss. I love the Green Hill boss being the Death Egg, the mech from the Death Egg Zone in Sonic 2. Like, that's the first boss. You know how hard that boss was? You got
how hard was he?
The Sonic 2 boss, you had no rings, and you had to make absolutely damn sure that you did not get squashed. In this one, it's a lot easier. But it brought back memories of Death Egg, because when I saw that boss, the Death Egg zone just popped in my head, and I'm like, wow, damn, that's insane. There's a lot of cameos in here from older Sonic characters. Like if you go to Mirage Saloon, there's a lot of them that are wanted. Like Being the Dynamite, I believe, is one of the characters that's on a wanted poster. So there's a few cameos and a few things going on right there with Sonic Mania. I'm gonna give it a solid 4.5 out of 5. It is not the perfect Sonic game. It is not. I still largely consider Sonic 2 on the Sega Genesis the quintessential Sonic game. It does everything right. It does everything basic. I can even go as far as saying Sonic Advance 2 can be considered a quintessential Sonic game.
I'm surprised. I would have thought you would have said Sonic 3 was.
Sonic
3 had better storytelling.
Sonic 3, yeah, it had a lot of better storytelling, but because Sonic 3 wasn't technically a complete game, I can't say that. But Sonic 2 and even Sonic Advance 2 are the quintessential Sonic games that I would absolutely recommend for anybody to play. So if you can get your hands on a DS, get your hands on Sonic Advance 2. If you can get your hands on a Retron 5 or Sega Genesis or old Sega Genesis, or even Sonic Gems Collection, or if you have Steam, get Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Those are the two games that I absolutely recommend you play. But if you want to play a 2D Sonic game and all you've been playing are games like Sonic Generations, Sonic Colors, and Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Mania will be that game that will reintroduce you to a Sonic that we all grew up with and loved. So again, my score, 4.5 out of 5. That will be reflected on the Outerhaven.net in the written review. Keith, if you had to give it your own personal score, would you agree? Would you go higher? Would you go lower?
No, I probably would leave it at a 4.5. I was actually thinking maybe a tad lower.
Ooh, so you go 4?
Yeah.
Aaron?
I've only just installed it. I haven't gotten to play it yet. I did play a level at PAX when we were there a couple months ago, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm anticipating to be at least a 4. Hopefully it'll be a 4.5 for me, like it was for you.
So the reason I said that, though, is because the special stages.
Oh, let's talk about the special stages real quick before I forget. Thank you for reminding me. So obviously Blue Sphere makes a comeback. For those of you that remember Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Blue Sphere is a thing. But with this one, Blue Sphere, you don't get the Chaos Emeralds. The Chaos Emeralds are in this game, but you have to play a sort of a remix of the Sonic CD special stage, where you have to chase the UFO. And the handling is kind of bad.
It's atrocious.
Like, kind of bad.
Nice.
Kind of what I expect from Sonic, bonus games. They were always kind of...
No, not really. Sonic 2, like I said, the reason why I say is the quintessential Sonic game.
Was that the half-pipe one?
Yes, that was the half-pipe one. Yeah. And honestly,
that was alright.
That was the best special stage I ever played. I love playing that special stage.
It was alright. I still preferred the Sega CD, even though it was low frame rate. I love that one. Mainly because the music was also pretty good.
Which one? The US music or the Japanese music?
Both.
I love the Japanese music. Thank you, Christian Whitehead, for redoing Sonic CD in your Sonic engine. It was great. Like playing the quintessential Sonic CD. Hell, I would even say Sonic CD is a quintessential game to play as well. Would you agree?
Oh, it definitely is. You have to play Sonic CD. You have to.
Like, you don't have to play Sonic the Hedgehog 1, even though Sonic the Hedgehog 1 is a great game.
It doesn't really stand the test of time. The more you think about it,
it's a little rough.
It's rough around the edges. There's no spin dashing and all that stuff. I mean, unless you want to get the mobile version of it, where you can spin dash, but and play as Knuckles. Yeah, Knuckles and Sonic 1.
People want that ported over, but they haven't done it yet for some odd reason.
That and Sonic 2, yeah.
Yep.
Like that's something that needs to happen. That definitely needs to happen. So that was my review.
Eventually.
That was my review of Sonic Mania.
Let me ask you something, Clinton.
Yes,
I've been peeking at other reviews around the internet, and I saw some people complain just that they enjoyed the new levels so much that they kind of wished the game was more new levels than remixes. What would you say to that?
Honestly,
do you really like the remixes so much?
The thing about it is Sonic Mania was meant to be a love letter to the Sega Genesis era of games. Mm-hmm. This is Christian. This is Stealth and Taxman. They are all about the retro. They've all been all about. So if you know about Whitehead and Stealth, you would know that these games was going to be an absolute love letter. Dude, they basically was giving you remixes of the stages coming in. The first 2 stages they revealed were new stages, with Studiopolis as well as with Studiopolis and what was the other one? Mirage Saloon. They also gave you a little bit of Green Hill because every time they do a new Sonic game, there's a reiteration of Green Hill. Take a look at Sonic Generations. What was the first stage they revealed? Green Hill. You know, they remixed Green Hill so many times. Like the Neo Geo game remixed Green Hill. Remember that? If you ever had a Neo Geo Pocket Color or
Never had
emulator?
one of those.
No, never had one. Yeah.
Yeah, like I had a Neo Geo Pocket Color. Like,
So-
I remember them. They looked neat. I never had one.
yeah, it was pretty fantastic. It was a pretty fantastic. Neo Green Hill. They remixed Green Hill in Sonic Advance 1. So that
So
was
let me ask you,
the one
since you've given your review and you said this is a little bit spoilish, and you've seen videos, have you seen the final video?
the final boss where you play with the absolute final boss if you have
Yes.
all 7 Chaos
Yes.
Emeralds. Dude,
Yes.
it reminds me of Doomsday Zone from Sonic 3.
Now, I don't know if you remember, but I talked about people saying that this was a tie-in to Sonic Forces.
A lot of
You
people,
saw-
even Sega said it.
You see the ending, right?
Yup.
Yeah. So this is basically a tie-in to Sega's Forces, Sonic Forces when it comes up later on.
You know, Cold Steel the Hedgehog, do not steal. Like I'm just saying, I can't wait for Sonic Forces to be fair. Like I'm not surprised that Sonic Mania is going to lead into Sonic Forces. That's actually pretty damn fantastic in a lot of
Remember when
ways.
we were talking about that and how they're saying that there's two dimensions of Sega Sonic now.
There's always like with Sonic Generations, pretty much put that into practice.
So
Yeah?
they're solidifying that. It's like, yeah, this is what we're doing, so we can use either one of these Sonics interchangeable. And I kind of like the idea.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Roger Craig Smith is a fantastic voice for Sonic the Hedgehog, but dude, me growing up, I loved Chibi Sonic. I can't believe I'm calling him Chibi Sonic.
See,
90s Sonic, excuse me, or you know,
Attitude.
or Jaleel White. Like
Attitude Sonic.
part of me wishes Jaleel White was voicing Sonic right now. Like,
Me too, kind of. I gotta be honest. I'm right there with you. I grew up with that.
yeah, like gotta go fast. Come on, little buddy.
Let me toss another question back to Keith. When you first started, you mentioned all the platforms. And Keith, you were adamant PC version is DOA. And why do you say that?
Well, before we get to that,
All right.
PlayStation 4 Pro, 4K, is that a thing?
Yes, it is. It supports 4K in the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Nice.
Nice.
So back to Aaron's question. I'm sorry.
So that actually leads into my actual question, or to his question. So the PC version is supposed to be everything that all these versions are. Supports up to 4K, 60 frames per second or beyond, I believe. And it's delayed until another 2 weeks.
The 29th.
Well, the
yes.
Xbox One version has been received very well. The PlayStation 4 version has been received very well. So as a Switch, the PlayStation 4 the Pro version supports 4K. These games are already out now. They're $20, and people, if they have the console and or PC, they're probably sitting here going, "Well, these reviews are really good. I don't think I can wait." They're gonna pick it up and they're gonna wait for the PC version to come out. It's gonna be like, do I really want to double dip on something that's already perfect or damn near perfect?
I mean, I'm quadruple dipping regardless because I'm a big Sonic fan, but I can understand the argument that you're making because there's a lot of people that don't have the patience, but at the same time, we don't know if there's modding capabilities on the PC version. Now, the PC community is a very adamant community about their thing, PC or bust. If there's a modding opportunity for Sonic Mania, that could possibly move things.
That could be a big thing, yeah.
I
could
don't.
see that.
I mean, I'm not a fortune teller. I can't say whether I see this happening or not. But other Sonic games for Steam have been modded, to my knowledge.
Outside of the Genesis collection.
Yeah. So
No, Generations got modded a little bit.
did
People
it?
were able to mod Generations, yeah.
And we don't know. We don't know what kind of anti-cheat they're using either.
They definitely ain't using de novo.
I
hope not. What?
They may be using de novo.
Rip the dream. Sorry. Don't know what
Pretty
to tell you.
much.
Don't know what to tell you. But again, Sonic Mania as a game, as a pure game, is actually perfect. Like perfect for what we've been getting. Because the last really good Sonic game that have come out, to be fair, the Sonic Boom, Fire, and Ice games on the 3DS were actually really decent, but it wasn't up to the gameplay style of Sonic Colors or Sonic Generations. So it's been a while since we got a good Sonic game that people uniformly loved.
Mm-hmm.
And Sonic Generations was that last game that people really loved.
Yeah, because they were starved for a 2D Sonic.
Yeah. So.
And that was far from perfect. It was good.
Was that only half 2D?
It's okay. The classic zones were 2D, and then you go to the modern Sonic stuff, and then you get into and then you get to the final boss where I literally went to GameStop and said, "Take this shit back, like please, like I can't deal with this." All right, so let's go to the final topic of the night before we get out of here. Yo, are Xbox games really exclusive? Conversation was had in the Slack channel talking about the Nintendo Switch has already moved 9, I believe, exclusive consoles compared to how much Xbox has moved in its full lifetime. I have a few words to say about that, but Keith, I would like
your wording. Your wording confused me.
I mean, that's what it said in the article, right?
So, okay, so the article was basically...
Excuse me, I got it wrong. The Switch will have more exclusive in 9 months than the Xbox One has had in all of 2016 and 17 put together.
Right.
Sorry. Let me get it right. I saw it. I interpreted it wrong. I'm sorry. Just want to make sure I got that right. While this is true, what does this really mean that are like, and with the Play Anywhere initiative, are Xbox games truly exclusive? Keith, I want to kick that over to you because that was a conversation that you and John brought up in our Xbox channel.
Yeah, so we were talking about that article, and the guy who wrote the article, I'm sorry, sir, you are a complete and freaking total moron. Sorry.
Moron.
You're judging the exclusive of a system, a Nintendo system that needs exclusive in order for it to actually sell. Nintendo systems have never ran on the power of multi-platform.
Except for the SNES.
Yeah, and that was it. GameCube, everything else after that one required Nintendo to have superb first-party exclusive games, or they weren't going to sell the system.
Shouts out to Smash Brothers Melee, right?
I mean, yes, the Xbox One hasn't had a stellar 2016. It really hasn't. It's only had a handful of first-party games from Microsoft. But at the same time, people seem to forget, 2015, beginning 2016 wasn't very good for the PlayStation 4 either, and it was the same way back in the Xbox 360.
It's about the same way for the PS4 now. Like, they're not really releasing exclusives.
But they have a huge amount of games that have been announced, so they're coming. When you look at the Xbox One, where are the games, guys?
Outside of Forza and Crackdown?
Right. You got Forza, Crackdown, Halo,
Cuphead,
which he didn't talk about, and I wrote him back. I was like, you totally forgot Cuphead. You're just picking your battles. He didn't write back to me. It's not really a fair decision. And then, Microsoft needs to get off his butt and give us more exclusives, but I'm pretty sure they're working on that one. At the same time, the system runs off the merit of what Microsoft has. And Forza may not be for everybody. Gears of War may not be for everybody. Halo may not be for everybody. Yeah, they do need some new exclusives, and we don't know exactly what they have. And they're not going to tell us. They're waiting. Hopefully, they have something more. But if you look at the PlayStation 4, and I know that wasn't part of the article, but if you look at the PlayStation 4, there have been games exclusive to the PlayStation that we've been waiting on for years that are finally coming out. Hello, GT Sport. Still don't have Gran Turismo 7.
Still don't have God of War.
Still don't have God of War. But the fact that the games have been announced is that, they're coming. They're coming. They're not vaporware. Lord knows you can announce a game and you don't see it for 7 or 8 years.
Duke Nukem Forever.
Right? Final Fantasy 15.
Last Guardian.
People totally forget that. But when you talk about the Switch, Nintendo needs these exclusives to sell that system.
And the thing about Nintendo is, and what people don't really understand is that, and this is for me speaking, it's not even just their exclusives that are selling right now. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it.
The Switch is in a unique situation where it has the portability that people want to take their games on the go. So that's also pushing a lot of sales on the Switch. It's like, well, like you just said, you and Aaron both just said, I picked up Sonic Mania on the Switch because I can take it with me on the go.
Right.
And that's a fantastic value for the Switch. It has that. But outside of that, I mean, if Zelda hadn't launched with the Switch, Do you think it would have sold as many systems as it did? Well, then I take it back. It probably would have because it's Nintendo.
Yeah, I think it would have. Yeah,
and at the
they
same
always
time,
sell.
And at the same time, let's take. I mean, look at the Wii U, bro. Hold that L.
And they use that as an example too.
And I look at. Here's the thing. Fate Extella came out in July. Like this guy came out in July. Now think about it, these are games that came out on the PS4 that look just as good.
We're talking.
You can take them on the road, right? But let's go back to the exclusives. Most of the exclusives on the Switch are either sequels of games that came out on the previous console, or remakes of the games that came out on the previous console.
But
or in the case of ARMS, a completely new IP.
But that guy, the person, did not take those as part of the argument at all. And that was one of the things.
Cherry picking. That's why. It's journalism. It's cherry picking. Dude, I'm going to be honest. Even the Outerhaven tends to cherry pick our arguments from time to time. And unintentionally. But, we cherry pick. People cherry pick naturally to prove an argument that they're trying to prove.
And outside of that, while Clinton get yelled at, there also was that comment where, a couple comments where people were basically saying that Xbox One games on PC don't count as Xbox exclusive games, and there were other people, myself included, they were like, "That's totally wrong. What are you
that's
talking
insane." About? Right?
It's like they're Xbox branded games that can be played on all the PC and all the Xbox. They're still Xbox games. You can't play them on your PlayStation 4. You can't play them on the Switch. And they're not games that you can buy on Steam. They're Xbox brand games. Now,
right? If you're playing them on a Windows computer, you're doing it through that Xbox app. You're doing it through the store, through the Xbox.
Yeah.
It's not just a PC title.
The only problem where that becomes full of holes is when you have games that were published by Microsoft that eventually make their way over to Steam, like Tomb Raider. Quantum Breaker made it over. Killer Instinct's finally coming. Gears of War. No, I'm sorry. Halo Wars is on Steam now.
Yeah.
So those eventually made their way, but when they first came out, for the first 5, 6, 7 months of those games' lives, they were Xbox exclusive games.
Yeah, wasn't Halo Wars on the original Xbox 360?
Yeah. It was. It came back, and it was an add-on for Halo Wars 2. It was, if you bought Halo Wars 2, you got this game as a thank you.
Yeah, at the same time, you can sit down there and say, remember when Halo came out on PC as well, so you can go all the way back to Halo 1 and Halo 2 on PC.
But they weren't. Yeah, but it wasn't the whole Xbox. The thing that's driving people crazy now is that whole Xbox
play anywhere thing.
Yeah, that's what's causing giving people the conniptions. Like, why is this the thing now? And they can't wrap their brains around the fact that, and this is the same conversation we had, is that, okay, great, you can play your games on the PC now. Microsoft is not 100% behind hardware. They don't care. I mean,
Microsoft has never really been a hardware company.
And most companies aren't hardware company, but most companies aren't in the same situation as Microsoft, where they can actually get their own shit out there on their own OS. If Sony had an OS that was selling well, I'm pretty sure Sony would put their games on that OS as well.
Dude, I mean, if Apple was able to actually be successful with the Apple Pippin. Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to say that with a straight face. I'm sorry.
The Apple Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, sorry. I tried to say that with a straight face. But if Apple was able to really do it, but seriously, if the Apple Pippin was actually to be successful, don't you think that there would have been an Apple Pippin right now, along with the Mac OS? I'm
pretty sure there would, dude, but
and think about it. And think about it, dude. If Apple was to get into game making again because they have the Apple TV, dude, it'll be on iPhones, iPads, Apple TV, and it will definitely be on the Mac OS.
I don't think Apple TV will ever be taken seriously as far as gaming. But
neither will the Fire TV, but still.
Actually, you can't really say that because Amazon has purchased gaming development studios.
Double Helix, remember that?
They've also got another one. They also made their own game engine and put out 2 games. So they're in a different situation than Apple right now. At least they're making an effort. But getting back to the whole Xbox branded Xbox Play Anywhere, if it says Xbox Play Anywhere, it tells you right there it's an Xbox game. You can play it on your PC. It doesn't make a difference if you're playing on your PC, if you're playing on your Xbox One or Xbox One X.
Still an Xbox game.
The people need to understand this. That they're giving you an option, and they're giving you tiers.
And can I put it out there?
Go ahead.
This is kind of like what Apple's doing, and Microsoft is taking the Apple approach with their gaming division. It's no longer Mac. It's no longer Macintosh as a platform. It's Macintosh as a service. It's Xbox as a service now.
Sort of, but not completely.
Nah, not completely, but it's Apple, it's Microsoft, it's Xbox as a service, and that's what they're trying to do right now. And it's the smart idea that most people are doing. I mean, even Google's doing the same thing. Google as a service. Google, you can unify Google across everything that you have.
And it makes sense. While I'm still against Xbox playing where for certain reasons, as we're talking about it, the confusion that it's throwing out there, I think it's a great initiative. Think about it. You can play your games on the Xbox if you buy it digitally and your PC. If your PC is a piece of crap or it can't run the game, you're not missing out on anything. But if you have a good machine that can run these games, hey, guess what? You don't have to worry about buying on the Xbox One X and have performance issues unless the game is fully optimized for Ryzen 3. But they finally fixed that.
But at the same time, like Keith, now think about it. You usually take your computer with you to PAX or the other conventions and stuff like that, right? And when you go to the hotel, so you playing your game on your Xbox at home. It's like, all right, cool. So the save file is here. It's in the cloud.
Exactly.
So you go back, you turn on the PC when you get to the hotel. God willing, the internet's actually good, and you download your save file and you go.
Good internet? I've never heard of that.
What?
I've never had good internet at any hotels.
I know. Me neither.
Or use your cell phone as for tethering, and you put your TV, you hook it up to your TV or your monitor and whatever. You playing your games on your downtime. When you are even if you have a laptop, you're sitting out on your downtime playing games like playing games like what Forza on your PC. So
is that a approximation of the portability that the Switch has? Then, like the Switch is just you take the physical console with you, and this is like the save files out there. If I got play anywhere, I can play it on the PC here and play on the console over here.
You can't play it on the bus though.
You can't play it on the bus, but I mean,
you carry a TV with you like the guy on the subway has, then you could.
Right. Like I said, it's approximation of Nintendo's actually letting you take the entire console.
And then at the same time, Xbox One X comes out. Like I'm in that position right now where it's like Xbox One X is going to come out.
I have a PC that can play 4K.
I can play everything that I want on my PC, and I don't think I want to get the Xbox One X right now.
Right.
So...
Which they've come out and said you're not the target audience for.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. No, but
again, you can play their games with that 4K experience on your PC because it's play anywhere. So
exactly.
Which is
you still get
that from them. It's a win-win. It's just people. It's either people don't want to grasp their head around it, can't grasp their head around it, or simply don't care and want to use it as an argument.
No, and that's usually the case because a lot of the times when people make arguments like that, it's like they don't want to wrap their head around these logical points that are right in front of their face. It's like right here. Excuse me for blocking my face, but
why are you blocking your face?
No, I'm just saying put it like the points are right here, but there's a blockade right here. Like they're blind. The blinders are right here, so they don't want to see it. They just see what they want to see. And that's a lot of the argument that I had early where it's like, yo, dude, the portability for Xbox Play Anywhere is freaking great. Like, dude, playing Forza, like, dude, 9 times out of 10, I'd be taking my Xbox with me because my Xbox is more portable to an Airbnb to Boston rather than going to like with my PC. Dude, I can keep my save file going back and forth wherever I go. That's actually pretty dang fantastic in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it is. It's a great convenience.
Yeah.
So we go back to the question, are Xbox games truly exclusive? And I would beg to say that the answer is yes.
Yeah,
they're exclusive because they're still in the Xbox brand. You have to have a PC to play them, or you have to have an Xbox to play them. So yeah, they are. Debating that is silly because Microsoft came out and said these are Xbox games. They're just being able to play on the PC.
So the Xbox app, that's a thing.
That's it, and if you want to argue otherwise, well, then it's a losing argument because it's already been stated. It's a fact. This is what it is. You don't like it, go throw rocks. Oh well.
That's
what I got to say about it.
That being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the Xbox Experience episode number 29. We talked a lot of stuff. Keith, final thoughts before we get on out of here.
Coke Zero Sugar isn't that good.
Oh. I'm really sad to hear that because I love Coke Zero and I'm really mad they're taking it away.
Yeah.
Where'd you get Coke Zero sugar? I don't know where to find it yet.
There's a Wawa. The Wawa on Philadelphia Pike on Grub Road has it.
All right, I'll go check it out. But yeah,
I went checking today.
Love my Coke Zero, and I am not looking forward to them discontinuing it.
There was a conversation on Twitter, and it was like, you got to try it. And I was like, all right, but I don't know anywhere that has it. And I went to the Wawa today to get my iced coffee this morning. And I saw the machine. It's like, you have it? So I tried it. I let Mo try it first, and she was like, "Ugh, what is this?" And let Angie try it. She said the same thing, and I was like, "It's Coke Zero Sugar." And then I tried it. I was like, "It's not that much different."
Can I be honest? Can I be honest, man? I don't mess with diet. I don't mess with diet drinks because the artificial sweeteners are worse in a lot of ways than the sugar that they use or the high fructose corn syrup. So it's either or. I'd rather get the high fructose corn syrup and get the good taste as opposed to just getting the artificial sweeteners and potentially killing myself faster. Aaron, final thoughts?
I'm gonna play some Sonic Mania. I'm looking forward to that.
Indeed. So next week,
I'm sorry, a little bit of information real quick.
Go
Looks
ahead.
like that Amazon Prime in Canada is doing some, God, I don't want to say this word, but fuckery with their
shady
Amazon
shiesty.
Prime with their gaming. They're 20% now. It's now 10%. They just changed it.
Shouts out to Best Buy. By the way, Best Buy still has Xbox One collector's editions for Sonic Mania. Go get them.
Not mine. I was up there.
No, you can order online. You can't get it at the store. You can order online. So yeah.
I don't see the draw of that. I'm sorry. I usually get CEs, but I'm going to see that Sega Genesis with Sonic on eBay eventually.
Yeah. So King Viper 1, you said you're getting a Ryzen 5 very soon. You just got to the end of the podcast, bro. We talked about that a while ago, but if you want to recap a little bit, Keith, before we get out of here.
Well, I don't mind filling any questions. What's your question?
He said he's getting the Ryzen 5. I would say just give him the benefits of getting the Ryzen 5.
Well, what are you coming from? Or are you building a brand new machine?
It's gonna take a while. It's probably gonna take a while.
Do
it from both sides. Do it from both sides, Keith.
Where is he at? Is he on Twitch or is he on?
He's a Mixer, yeah.
Okay, well, it's kind of hard, dude. I need to fill that.
Okay, so what I was saying was do it from both sides. Like, so for example, if you're doing a new build, should you get a Ryzen?
If you're doing a new build, should you get a Ryzen? Depends. I'm getting no question. Okay. There you go. Yeah, Ryzen 5 is a great processor. Brand new machine. You're not going to have any issues. Which 5 are you getting? Are you getting a 15 or the 16?
Yeah, just don't get the 3. Because I think the 16 is actually the better value to get the 5.
Okay, the 16 is a better value.
Yeah.
So
Indeed.
you're going to have nothing but clear sailing with that. There is some drivers issues. There is some compatibility issue with certain applications, certain games, but yeah, it is super budget friendly. You're not going to see many issues or any issues whatsoever at all. I have it and I enjoy it.
That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here. Let's talk about all the other podcasts that's available on the Outerhaven. Don't forget.
One more thing. Plus, one more thing. Keep in mind, the Ryzen 1500 is 4 cores. The Ryzen 1600 is 6 cores.
The more cores, the better.
Yeah, well.
I'm kidding.
Depends on the application. If it supports multi-threading, yes. If it doesn't, and it's only a single core, and your single core performance sucks, no, you're not going to say no.
Right.
So,
that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the Xbox Xperience podcast comes in. Definitely, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying one more time, the Xbox Experience podcast is over. Make sure you check out all of the other podcasts on the Outerhaven, such as Sony Centric, the A1 podcast, the Nintendo Entertainment podcast, Strange and Wonderful Recap, as well as the Warren Infinite Panels and Reaction Theater. You can also check out all of our articles and all of our reviews and editorials at www.theouterhaven.net. You can catch Keith streaming here on the Outerhaven on Mixer. Thank you for the follow, King Viper 1 on Mixer. You can catch Keith streaming assortment of games on the Mixer channel.
Assortment of games.
Well, tell them what games you stream.
Bloodborne, The Surge, Dark Souls 3, Sonic Mania, Forza Apex, Forza Horizon 3. I play everything under the sun except for most Japanese role-playing games because I can't stomach them. And sports games.
Even though I'm trying to get him to play NBA 2K. Just saying. You can catch me on the Outerhaven's Mixer channel as well from time to time. So I'll be making appearances on there, but mostly on www.twitch.tv/Navigator Bowman. I just became a Twitch affiliate, so click that subscribe button and you'll get an exclusive for $4.99. You get an exclusive sub perk. You get some sub perks and a nice little compass emote that you can use.
Hey, no pitching. Get out of here.
And then obviously I do Pokemon trading card game online and a lot of Sonic games because I love Sonic games. It's just what it is. And Aaron, where can we find you, buddy?
Well, I will be streaming eventually out here on Mixer. But in the meantime, I show up on the Bottled Fuchsia podcast, the Fuchsia Cast, over at bottledfuchsia.com. We'll be recording the next episode of that tomorrow, which will get published at some point over the weekend. And we're also going to eventually start getting some regular video content coming out of there too, which should show up there and on the Outerhaven somewhere, probably on the YouTube channel somewhere. So that will be in the near future.
And in addition, Keith and I will be at Play NYC this Saturday.
Hopefully.
Nice.
He says hopefully.
Hopefully I don't get screwed over at work.
Oh, you on call this week?
Turn the phone off and just go do your thing.
I'm on call.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
really?
obviously, Play NYC is going to be a thing. We're going to be checking out a lot of indie content, a lot of fun games out there. It's going to be in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and we are totally going to be streaming. Yes, we're outrageous. Jam is excitement.
Man, showed his age.
Yes, wow. I'm almost 20. I'm almost 30, bro. We're gonna be streaming live from the Play NYC if the cell phone connection is actually pretty decent out there at Terminal 5. Mm-hmm. So it'll be on my personal Twitch channel. So it'll get there, and then I'll just highlight and put it on the Outerhaven's YouTube. So Keith and I will be just going around and getting as much interviews as possible, getting as much hands-on for the indie titles, because we love the indies, right?
Sure we do. Wait, what? I'm sorry. I was looking at my nice shiny little phone.
You got that Samsung Galaxy S8, right?
Yes, I do.
You love that phone, don't you?
Nice.
I don't love any kind of electronics. Sorry.
I was talking about the abstract. Like, I love just being on this phone. It is such a beautiful phone to handle.
No, I don't. No, I don't live with my phone like that. No, I'm not like that.
Yeah, you don't like answering phone calls neither. That being said, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you give us a follow on Mixer as well as on Twitch. And we'll see you next week, 9 o'clock or around 9 o'clock.
Hopefully, maybe
on Tuesday.
We'll somewhere around there, yeah.
But it's on Tuesday, so we'll be there Tuesday.
Yeah.
For episode number 30 of the Xbox Xperience podcast. Good night, everybody.